Hello everyone, this is Kent Ketter with Hot Takes, bringing you some red-white Eldrazi action brought to you by Team Cardhoarder, and we won a die roll. Let's see what we can do with that. We'll keep this. Having the Ancient Tomb really helps the sequences. Oh, this Thalia is great. Okay, so your options, our options there were, so they took Thalia 1 off of us. What did they show us? Spell Pierce. So they're probably Sneak and Show. Right, yeah, that's weird. Okay, well, they cast 1 Force of Will. Can we have another? And yeah. All right, now from here, probably looking to get a Thought-Knot Seer fired off, maybe a Thalia, depending on what our opponent shows us. Fetch land tapped is where we want to be. If we draw a land, let's see. Alright, so that'll probably be our last couple damage. Yep. Okay. So I think I'm supposed to swing there first with Thalia. And then if my opponent blows it up in combat, then second main I can repeat. Any basic land here, or any land here, and we're in business. I just want to get one of these Thought-Knot Seers off to make sure we're not missing out on something. I don't think there's anything on this turn that I'm particularly worried about. On land. Okay, so we can't do that, so let's go. X is 1. If our opponent has any sort of brainstorm or ponder effects, this will elicit the use. It's going to cut the use of it with the flooded strand, which is great. Still not 100% as to what our opponent's presenting. Definitely a large mana strategy. So things that I'm starting to go through or loop through now is how good are some of our options in the sideboard. I'm trying to evaluate So Pierce isn't very good against us generally, so I expect our opponent to board those out. So don't really want to factor that in, but the Brainstorm seemed to have some pretty good application. Brainstorm fetch deck. Opponent hasn't really shown us much else though, so I'm hoping for a land so we can at least Thought Knot for a little bit of knowledge. So I'm gonna name Sneak Attack here just in case that is the card that our opponent was attempting to hide. Also gonna cast this Lotus Petal, so next turn we can fire off that Thought Knot Seer if we feel a need for it. I'm hoping this is just gonna take care of our opponent though. Not optimal, didn't hit the lands we were looking for to cast a Thought Knot on curve, but I think we're in good shape. Just another combo deck that I think just got enough of a squeeze from our Thalias. So our opponent had to fetch up a non-basic, so it does look like they are basic limited. And then they Brainstorm, and I don't really think they have a big hit for mana from there. So, looks like a combo deck. Let's do what we did last. Since I don't think they're Omniscience this time around, I'm just going to board in one Wear Tear. Actually, I think I want a second. We're going to call one Displacer. All right, so in this matchup, we're hoping for a turn 1 play. Lotus Petal has a lot of application, and Ancient Tomb Chalice is also pretty great. So, I imagine our opponent's trying to figure out what else we're playing. We didn't really show them very many cards, like if we're just a weird red, white taxes deck. Maybe they're expecting like Blood Moons and the like. But we showed them Ancient Tomb. So that usually tilts to something going a little larger. I think they'll just go for an anti-creature, like whatever anti-creature elements they have, trying to stop us on that axis. Okay, we're going to keep this. It's a turn 1 Thalia. And we'll just go basic Petal. Try to run out 1 Thalia. If we hit a second land, we have a turn 2 second Thalia, which is probably going to lock up the game. This is surprisingly efficient at what we want it to do. It's really comical to me. So the other nice part about this is I don't think, like, our opponent has to have the force for this Thalia. They can't spell pierce it. That would be 3 cards left in their hand. From here, we're just looking for another mana source. Doesn't really matter what kind it is. Then we'll just start the squeeze slowly but surely. That was a fantastic hit if we want to force this out there, which I do. Human. Don't really care if we're behind. So what I'm thinking through now, not that there's a whole lot to be, done on my side of the board, but I think we're just in a pretty simple this over and over again. F6 through their turn. Looks like our opponent's just slightly more locked than we are. We'll cast. Okay, so here we are going to attack first. Make sure we get our damage in. Our opponent might want to blow up our, Thalia in combat, which would be fine. And we're then just going to cast the Revoker here and name Sneak Attack. And probably lock them from here. So, not 100% as to what our opponent... Hello. Alright. Let's just... I just want to see what they're playing. Maybe they'll concede and not, go through this part. So if they drew the 4 there. Well, wait. So I take the omniscience here. Okay, so our opponent conceded there, but we take the Omniscience, which means regardless of the show and tell that they cast, they can't kill us. Now, if they could show and tell, put an Omniscience, they cast Emrakul, they untap, they attack for 15, they cast second Emrakul, they kill us. They were hoping for the Ancient Tomb to jump to 4 mana and make that show, or make that, make that show and tell happen. So, got a little lucky. Anyways, another combo match, looks like. Another match where Thalia gets to pinch from 2 directions and Thought Not Seer kind of wraps it up. So, match 4, we're sitting at 3-1 right now. The deck seems pretty great against your combo decks. Maybe we'll get to play against the Delver deck to close it out. something with some creatures, kind of mix it up a little. But if not, you know, and you're in a meta that's facing a lot of the cards that these three in my hand deal with, this deck's great. Having a good time. Thank you so much. I don't want to butcher it. Phil Gallagher, ThrabenUniversity.com. All your White Weenie resources. But, you know, check that content out. Then head on over to Cardhoarder and pick up what you're missing. Pretty excited. We'll see you in match 5, folks. Thanks for checking in.